So I'm going to talk about Unity Cloud Build today. I'm going to show you how to set it up with the editor and how to do builds in the cloud, which will be really cool. So I'm Josh. I'm from the north of England. I get told that I sound like Jon Snow a lot of the time, especially in the office. So yeah, I'm one of the wildlings near the wall. So I work at Unity. I'm a developer relations engineer, so I help the sales team with technical questions to customers and also the community, so I'm like a technical community manager. So, first of all, when people use Unity, like our tagline is build once, deploy everywhere. Well, sometimes that's not like entirely true. So at the minute, you make a game, you build to iOS, you then deploy to the device, you switch platform. On big projects, it could take 20 minutes. Then you build the Android version, you deploy to the device. Then you've got changes to fix. So then you have to go back to step 2. You build to Android, deploy to the device. So you've got them 2 versions out, and then the publisher maybe goes, oh, I want Windows Phone 8, and we want UIA for the 2 people that have that. And then from there, so you have to go back, step 2, so you have to build, switch platform, fix issues. So that's one way people do it at the minute. Or the scenario 2, where people make the game, build the iOS version. So Crossy Road built the iOS version, released that. A few months later, they then have to go and build an Android version. And then you've got a lot of versions, and you've got a lot of issues to fix again. And then you release that one. And then you have to go back to the iOS version because it needs an update, and you repeat forever and ever and ever. And then you're always switching platforms, and it gets really annoying. So this is the current workflow when you're building games in Unity. So you've got your other packages, so you've got Maya and Sublime, the tech stuff. It goes into Unity. You then deploy to iOS, to Android, to Visual Studio for Windows Phone. And then it goes off like that, when it shouldn't be like that at all. It should be you actually are building everything for the platform all at the same time. And it's a lot of waiting. Developers don't want to wait. They like making things. So maybe 5 times a day when you're building or switching platforms, it gets boring. You're waiting maybe up to 2 hours, 15 minutes at a time. So we don't want to be doing this. So the Unity Cloud Build scenario is completely different. So we want to make the game. You push your changes to source control. Straight away, it detects these changes, and it starts building to the platforms that you desire. So at the minute, we've got the web player, iOS, and Android. Builds them in the background, maybe taking like 6 minutes on a pretty small project. It emails you when it's done, and then from your device, you can open up this email and install straight to the device, which is really, really cool. So slides are boring, so I'm going to demo that, show you how to set it up. Link it to my Bitbucket and start a build. So here's my project here, and all I need is the link. These are all my current projects, and I'm going to create a new one. It's add new. Hopefully the internet doesn't crash on me. So it wants a URL, and it's got Git, SVN, and Perforce, so pretty much set for most things. This is a really nice little icon as well. It turns into a Unity icon. So there's my project name, Pew Pew Project. And my spotted platforms, web player, Android, iOS. I'll just say I want it for Android for now. Actually, I'll do the web player. And auto build as well. So as soon as it recognizes that you've pushed a new update to Bitbucket, it'll auto build. So next. And it just needs my bundle ID. So Josh Pew Pew. And that's fine. And build. So now it's starting to build my project. So while it's building, I'll just go run through some of the other projects that I've built so far. So there it is, it's saying last successful build, it's telling you it's building for Android and web. So this is another version I did, and there's Dungeoneer. This Bouncy Reggie is probably the best example. So you can see that I've done 10 builds for Android, 10 builds for web player, and 3 builds for iOS. And it tells you the different file sizes for each one, and when they was built. So that's just like a quick overview. When I actually go into it, you can see a more in-depth view. So it runs through every single build you've done so far. So my very first build, I actually forgot to put the scene in the project settings. Massive rookie error. So it failed. It gave me an error log. So I can click here. And you can see it's saying this is a compact build log. So this is what was wrong. Or you can go to your full build log. You can go on your full your files change as well, so every single update. So obviously that was the first one, so nothing was changed. You click at your stats of the build. So it's got 74% build health, so it's not too bad. It tells you the average project size and the average build time, and how many being successful, how many failed. So what we're also going to do as well in here, so you're going to have a pie chart of like assets. So we're going to say like so much % of the build is audio, so much % of the build is textures. Really useful. Got a collaborator section. So this is every single person that once you send a build, they have access to. So all these people get an email saying successfully built, and they can install whatever device they choose. And also these people have access to my project, so they can kick off builds. So Andy here, he was at a gig the other night, and he actually was bored because he wanted a good gig, and he set off a build. I got an email. I'm like, what is Andy doing at 12 o'clock submitting build, like kicking off builds on my project? So I'll go on to my projects. It's still saying, still building. So what I'll do is show you a bit more about the cloud data. So while it's building, so Unity Cloud Data is in alpha at the minute. It was from a hack week that the cloud team did, and this allows us to have a dashboard, a web dashboard linked to variables within our game. So you can change stuff like player speed, or you could change the amount of enemies in a game. So what I've done here is, this is my Pew Pew project. So moving left and right, pew 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 pew. So I made this in a demo for some artists who would never use Unity before, so we made this in a day. And what we've done is I've linked this player speed value onto our cloud data. Set up a dashboard. On this one. And I've said player control .speed is 5. So what I can do is I'll change this to 20, save changes. I'm going to start playing my game, so if you look out for this variable here while I'm playing. So normally it's maybe about 20 seconds, or that's even faster. So then straight away my variable's changed, and you can really annoy people by just changing it while they're playing. But this is great as well. Say if you've got in-app purchases, you can do flash sales. There's no need to update your game, send it off to Apple for a 4-day certification again. You're just updating it straight away. So it's really great, like no long update process, reacts quickly to player behavior as well. So if you've got analytics integrated, straight away you can see some people aren't reaching level 3 because the boss's health is too high. It's too hard for them. So then you can change that straight away. Really nice, really easy to implement. So how it actually works here is in my player control, when MonoDevelop wants to open. All I do is reference cloud data mono behavior, and using the namespace here, then I say this field here, the speed, wants to be a cloud data field. and then in a game object here, I've just linked up my gameplay dashboard. So this is called gameplay, my sheet. And then straight away it took me 20 minutes to implement the other day. And this was just from a hack week that the cloud team did. So they took a week off and did some really cool stuff. So what we're trying to do as well is like heat map analytics. So we can see stuff like this, like a dev stream. So you've got like a Skype chat within the editor. So it'd be really nice for collaboration work when people are a lot further away than just in the same office. And mobile analytics dashboard. So you imagine on the train or something like this, and you access your analytics on your mobile, then you can go into your cloud data and change stuff on your mobile while other people are playing it like opposite you on the train, which is really cool. So I'll skip back and see if this is built. Hopefully there's no fails. Alright, so straight away 3 minutes it took to build the first one, and Android's still going. So what I can do is open up the project here, and I can play, because it's the cloud version, the web player version, sorry. Straight away you're playing the game that you've just built, and you can change dimensions for different views. So what you do is when you receive an email, so I've just got this one, yeah, so it's built for web. So if it's built for Android, you get this email here. It's been built for Android, and if you're on your phone, you press install, it installs the app. You can view your changes, the log, or any other errors that you might get if it's a fail. So really, really quick, really, really simple, a great way to distribute your projects. So I used it for the Global Game Jam last weekend, or the weekend before. So my team could test it, I could put it on other people's devices really quickly and just share the link. My screen is really small. But cool. So yes, this was our previous workflow, and this is our new workflow. So Unity builds the actual application into the cloud, and then it distributes them all at the same time. So at the minute, there's obviously iOS, Android, web player. We're going to be expanding that to different platforms, so Windows Phone, Xbox, WebGL as well, obviously in Unity 5. So that's really, really great. So as a summary of the benefits, faster iteration, more testing on multi-platforms, easier testing because you can distribute a lot easier, and comparing platform builds, so there's no longer going back, fixing issues, and then building again and fixing issues. From day one, you're distributing it on these 3 platforms at the minute, but obviously there's going to be a lot more. So less waiting, more making, and that's what developers want to be doing. So this is aimed at developers. Everything that we do as Unity is aimed at developers. So yeah, that's Unity Cloud build. Thank you very much for listening. If there's any questions, yep.
You have a microphone. Yeah.
One question about using the cloud build with plugins. One thing I have is a set of plugins only for iOS, another set of plugins of Android, and one thing I did until you release Unity 5 that I learned that you can set some files to be hidden from building. I remove some files out and in during the building process. For example, I don't want Google Play services on iOS, I only want on Android. How can I do that on Unity Cloud? Because that's very important for my building process. It takes me a lot of time while I'm doing it.
Yeah, sure. So I suppose you could do like asset bundles as well. So have you used asset bundles before?
Yeah, but not now in my current project. My current project is just plugins. I have to remove them.
You completely remove them per build. So you've got like different versions.
For example, Google Play services are completely have to remove them.
That's a very good question.
Fmod is another example. Fmod doesn't work on Windows Phone 8, only 8.1, and my game is only 8.1, but works on iOS and Android. And iOS and Windows Phone 8, I have to remove it use Windows audio system, Unity audio system, and on iOS I need Fmod because I have good effects I want to play in that.
Yeah, sure. So like, at the minute, the cloud build's in beta, so that's kind of like feedback we're after, where we can exclude certain files, and that's the kind of thing that if you come talk to me after, I'll shoot you my card, and we can talk to the cloud team about that. Try excluding different files, like you said. That's quite it's a really good idea.
Process scripts are also very important.
Yeah.
So just so I understand that, I thought it was possible that you could define that, the platform layer when certain things were working. Is that
like if definitions? Yeah, but
Yeah.
This guy's like building separate builds for, and it's taking it out completely. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So does it mean that you don't have to buy a Mac to build iOS?
Yes. So you don't have to. No, it'll build on iOS. But then obviously for certification and things like that, and actually deploying it to the device, you will do. Sorry. So to actually put it onto the store, obviously you'd have to have a Mac. But yeah, testing and building like that, that'd be fine. Yeah.
So you can have low-end Mac just to upload the build?
Yep.
Okay.
I think there was a question over here. Oh, okay.
I'm curious. In the web dashboard that you showed us for baking builds, in our project we have over 20 different branches. Can I select a branch and build it? How does it work?
So you want to build from a certain branch the project or the web dashboard? Sorry. So the cloud data. Sorry, or the
cloud. Like I want the cloud to build either the develop or different versions of the game. Is that possible?
At the minute, no, but you can choose like different subfolders. So do you know when I'd set up the project, you'd have to download different versions into a subfolder and build it from there.
Well, how does it then determine what version of your game he should build? What branch of Bitbucket does he build from? It's always the master.
So you'd get a URL for the different branch, can't you?
Oh, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
So there's a gentleman here.
Hi there. Nice talk. The cloud data stuff I found quite interesting. Just wondering what your kind of future plans are for that. Is it just going to be simple variable tweaking? And when do you think the stuff that you demoed today will be live?
So you can actually, the Unity Cloud build, you can log into the beta now, near enough everyone can get on it. I think there's 10,000 people on it at the minute. The cloud data, that was like very, very early because they built it in a week. So maybe in a few months or so they're going to try to put it into a beta version and make the dashboard look a lot nicer. But obviously because of the same company, they're cross-promoting both sides. So yeah, not too long away for the cloud data, but the cloud build you can get to now.
And the gentleman in the white shirt here.
Just following on from that question there, are there plans to be able to actually deploy straight to the Google and iOS Apple stores directly from Google?
I have no idea. That's something that I can talk to you after and I'll ask the cloud team.
Yeah, right. Okay. And one other question.
Yeah, sure.
It's not about Unity Cloud, but just about the Unity player in general. Maybe you know the answer. Will Unity 5 run without the Unity player, so that in the web for HTML5 will?
So yeah, so WebGL is going to be free to deploy to, and the web player is still going to be supported quite heavily because that's what a lot of people are still deploying to. But eventually, that's what we're going to be going. WebGL is going to be the default, and we're going to like phase out the web player because a lot of browsers, like Google, started already not accepting plugins. People don't want to be installing plugins, especially a lot of companies that we work with, such like the BBC. They don't want children to be installing plugins and stuff like that, so they just want easy access straight to WebGL, and that's what's going to be the future. So that's why we've done IL2 CPP instead of using Mono. That's our own framework, and that's converting the C# into C++ into JavaScript into Inscriptum, and that's what we've been working on for the last 2 years to make it so that all of it. At the minute, it's just iOS. That's what we've backported to 4.6. And that means that people can do 64-bit builds for iOS. And that's using IL2 CPP.
Will Unity 5, when it ships, that will be straight to no need to
So
reapply
now at the
anything?
minute, like we're in RC1, so you can build for WebGL straight away. There's been a few games already released commercially. It's still in a beta process, and it will be for quite some time. Just really strange bugs for some projects. Some projects quite perfectly, others are just some strange things happen.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks.
Cool. Any more questions? Have we sapped you of your desire to know more about cloud? I'm sure not. I'm sure that's not the case. So I think Josh is going to be around at the stand as well, and so feel free to talk to him. I'm going to take a couple of minutes setting up myself. I'm going to be talking about EveryPlay. I'm going to kind of try and show you not just why, but also how, which is a bit of a mean feat for somebody who only really started learning to code recently. So you'll see how far even a poor little designer / marketing dude can get. So thank you, Josh. That's been great. Thank you. Round of applause, please.